Hello and welcome. Welcome to The Guardian. Here we are on this beautiful, gorgeous day in South Mississippi. And I am looking forward. I love Wednesday. And I love Wednesdays for many reasons. One reason is because tonight I get to go to church, and I've been studying and getting ready for my lesson tonight. And I am excited about our study tonight. We've been in the book of Proverbs for the last, many weeks. And here you are in The Guardian. I really appreciate you joining in on the channel today. If you have not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that very much. Today, we're going to be discussing a very controversial subject. To me, it's not very controversial, but to some it is. And so we're going to discuss and talk about it. I'm going to talk about a lot of things on the channel, and that some might seem controversial and others might not. I am enjoying my sweet tea, drinking out of my Dickey's cup, and I enjoy going to Dickey's Barbecue here in Gulfport. My good friends own that restaurant, and if you're ever in Gulfport, I would encourage you to go to Dickey's Barbecue. And they have a couple different locations. They also cater, and you would definitely enjoy Dickey's Barbecue. Here in Mississippi, in Louisiana, we just had our elections, and where we elected a new governor in the state of Louisiana, and we will have a new Republican governor. Now in Mississippi, we have a gubernatorial election as well coming up in November the 7th, not too far away, and to be here before you know it. And I'm hearing, lots of different talks from lots of different people, especially, the strong conservative group, here in Mississippi. Some are saying that they're not even going to vote, in November. And then some are saying that they're just going to write somebody's name in, for governor, which I think is a very bad idea. I think it's a very bad idea, number one, for people not to go vote. And people gave their life for you and I to be able to have that right to vote. And for you just to not go vote is irresponsible. To me, it's not very smart. We are saying to people who are willing to die and for our rights, and we're just saying that it doesn't matter. And so your vote counts and your vote matters. I just did a video not too long ago on the channel about your vote counts. And your vote does count. And I would encourage all of you to get out and vote on November the 7th. I believe it's very, very important. And then for me to hear people saying that they're not going to vote, I started a group, an organization called Let Mississippi Vote, for the premise of voting and just encouraging Mississippians to just vote. And I think it's very, very important. And so I want to talk about this governor race for just a little bit today on the channel, and just try to encourage all of you and to get out and vote. And then I am going to encourage you to vote for one particular person, whenever it comes to the governor election. As many of you are very well aware, we have a Republican nominee. He is our sitting governor now, Governor Tate Reeves, versus a Democrat and Brandon Presley. Now, I have watched, some of Brandon Presley. I have listened to some of him. He is a very good talker. Whenever it comes to the political pulpit, he can give a good speech. But you got to look beyond a speech. You got to look at that Democrat platform and what the Democrats, represent. Just the other day, not too long ago, there was the Democrat PACs for governors gave Brandon Presley around like $3 million. Now, let me ask you a question. Who do you think that PAC is going to be supporting in 2024 for president? It's going to be supporting Joe Biden. 100%. Make no ifs, ands, buts about it. The same PAC that gave Brandon Presley over $3 million is going to be the same PAC that is going to be supporting Joe Biden. Now, I don't know any conservative, I don't know any Republican in the state of Mississippi that will be supporting Joe Biden for president in 2024. But the PAC gave Brandon Presley $3 million. Now, why do you think they gave Brandon Presley $3 million? Because they know that in 2024, if Brandon Presley is governor of Mississippi, that number one, it's going to fuel the Democrat Party. It's going to fuel their engine. It's also going to help them raise more money when you have Brandon Presley sitting as a governor here in Mississippi, it's going to help them raise more money for Joe Biden to defeat in what I believe is going to be Donald Trump as a Republican nominee. And so Brandon Presley's not going to come over and help us, beat Joe Biden. Absolutely not. You know how many deals he's already had to make? I'm sure there's already so many deals that he's had to make. Listen, if you win, you got to help us raise so much money, for Joe Biden. And Joe Biden is one of the worst presidents of our lifetime, versus Donald Trump, one of the best presidents of at least my lifetime. And so I want to encourage you, man, whenever I hear conservatives say, well, I'm just going to stay at home, or people say, I'm just not going to go vote, I want to encourage you to go vote, but then vote against Brandon Presley. It is very, very important that we do that. Now, I am supporting Tate Reeves, and I am voting for Tate Reeves. The governor has my full support, and against Brandon Presley, I pray that he wins. I think that we will win, and I believe it's very, very important that we as conservatives, I believe it is important that we get out and vote and let our voices be heard. Now, I'm going to give you several different reasons why. I just gave you one reason why I'm voting against Brandon Presley and why I'm voting for Tate Reeves, and there's many reasons why. And but one of the main reasons to me is in 2024, it is going to be the most important election of our lifetime when it comes to who we vote for president of the United States of America. When you look at the world on the brink of a World War III. I mean, look at what's happening in the Middle East. Look at what's happening with Russia and China and Iran and over in Israel. Look at what's happening all over the world. None of this would be happening if Trump was president. I mean, look what Russia is doing in Ukraine. None of that would be happening if Donald Trump was the president of the United States of America. And Brandon Presley is going to be supporting none other than Joe Biden come 2024. And we have a governor in Tate Reeves who supported and who supports Donald Trump for president. And so whenever I look at the world and whenever I look at the United States of America, I'm not even got into Mississippi yet, but when I look at the United States of America and the world and what's happening with Russia invading Ukraine, Hamas attacking Israel, Iran giving Hamas ammunition, Joe Biden sending Iran $6 billion. I mean, when I'm looking at all of the things that are happening and taking place, and I look at Mississippi and I say, okay, when you look at Brandon Presley and Tate Reeves, who is Brandon Presley going to support for president? Absolutely Joe Biden. So that's an X. If there was no other reason, and I have many reasons, but if there was no other reason, that is reason enough for me to completely endorse Tate Reeves, to support Tate Reeves, to do all that I can to make sure that we beat and defeat Brandon Presley. If for no other reason than that one reason, that is enough for me. We must defeat Brandon Presley come 2023 of November, because if we don't, in 2024, he will be supporting Joe Biden against Donald Trump, and this world is already in a mess, and I'm not sure if we can handle 4 more years of Joe Biden. And so we have got to get out and vote and get everybody that we can to get out and vote. Then let's talk about pro-life. Let's talk about the issue of life and the issue of the unborn. Now, some people want to try to tell me and convince me that Brandon Presley is pro-life. Well, I know that Tate Reeves is pro-life because just a few years ago, whenever he was lieutenant governor, the most conservative pro-life bill was passed in Mississippi, and Governor Phil Bryant, who was our governor at the time, signed it into law. It goes before the Supreme Court of the United States of America, and Roe versus Wade is overturned, putting the pro-life issue or the abortion issue back into the hands of the states, which is where it should be. And in many states across the United States of America, abortion became illegal immediately. If Brandon Presley had been lieutenant governor, that bill would have never saw the light of day. And if Brandon Presley was governor, he would have never signed that bill, because a Democrat is not going to sign whenever it comes to this pro-life issue. And Brandon Presley is getting all this money, from Washington and from outside of Mississippi. He's getting all this money. He is not going to be supporting the pro-life issue. Our governor, Tate Reeves, he is pro-life, and he is a pro-life conservative. And he whenever he was lieutenant governor, that bill got passed out of the Senate. and it got signed into law, and now it goes before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court rules in our favor, and it kicks it back to the states. If Brandon Presley is governor, that bill is never signed. If Brandon Presley is lieutenant governor, that bill is never signed. And so there's two reasons why I'm supporting Tate Reeves wholeheartedly. It is number one, because I know that the governor will support Trump. I know that Brandon Presley will support Joe Biden. I know that the governor is pro-life. I know that Brandon Presley is running on a platform that is pro-choice, and that is for murdering innocent babies. And so for no other reason, I've given you two, but if there was no other reason outside of the issue of life, I'm voting for the governor. 100%, he's got my support. No questions about it. The governor has my support. I've given you two reasons, and each reason is reason enough. They stand alone, the reason why I'm voting for Tate Reeves. Now, let's talk about immigration for a second. Okay, so Brandon Presley, he supports Joe Biden. Joe Biden has an open border policy. I mean, they're letting millions of illegals come across the border. I mean, every single day there are thousands of illegal immigrants coming in. Now, listen, I am not opposed to immigration. I am, and nor is the Republican Party. We are not opposed to immigration. We are opposed to illegal immigration. We are opposed to people coming over here and we don't even know who they are. We're opposed to people just coming in our country and we don't know who they are. We don't know where they're from. We don't even know their names. We don't know anything about them, and they're coming across into our country. Joe Biden, open border policy. Where do you think Brandon Presley is going to stand on this issue? It's going to be an open border policy, and he's going to support the president. Of course he's going to support Joe Biden. He's a Democrat. The Democrats do a much better job, unfortunately, at supporting each other more than the Republican Party does. But whenever it comes to the border, I know that our governor is for closing the border. I know that our governor is for, we need to know who these people are that are coming across. I mean, just look what happened in Israel. You had these people come across into Israel, and they go killing people, these terrorists, this Hamas terrorist groups. Don't you know that these groups would love to come into America? And they're probably already here because of the open border policy that the president has. When Donald Trump was president, he was for building the wall, and I'm for building a wall and making sure that the people that come in here come into our country legally. Now, once again, we are not opposed to immigration. We are for legal immigration. We are against illegal immigration. Now, that is something that we need to make very, very clear, that Brandon Presley, he supports the Democrat platform. The president of the United States, Joe Biden, is for an open border policy. We need to shut the border. We need to know who's coming into our country. It's very, very important. And so there's three reasons. You got one, Brandon Presley is going to support Joe Biden. Tate Reeves is going to support President Trump. Brandon Presley he's running on a platform that is pro-choice. The governor, he's the reason why the pro-life bill was passed out of the Senate. That went before the Supreme Court. He is as pro-life as they come. The third reason is the border. You know, you've got one that supports the platform that is for open border. You've got the governor who supports the platform that is for closing the border to make sure that people that come in here legally. Those are three reasons right there. I could stop right now, and I've given you enough reasons why we need to come out and vote for Governor Tate Reeves against Brandon Presley. And each reason stands alone in my book if there was no other reason. The issue of supporting Donald Trump, the issue of life, and the issue of immigration. Those three are very, very important. But let's go on to another one. Let's go to number 4, small government. Now, I know that many of us could debate this all day long about government, the size of government, the scope of government. I'm going to take a drink of my sweet tea on this one. And my wife, she makes, I believe, the best sweet tea. And here in the great state of Mississippi and Louisiana and these United States of America. And she puts 2.5 cups of sugar per gallon, and that's how I like it. And that's how I like my tea. And but it's good. And so small government. So, man, listen, our governor, he fully supports the elimination of the state income tax. Now, here's what that does. Whenever you eliminate the state income tax, whenever you get your pay stub on Friday, look at your pay stub, and you'll see on there, you'll see your federal taxes, you'll see your insurance, you'll see if you're paying dues to any type of any type of organization. You'll see all that on there. Some people have, some people have their tithe, taken out of their check and mailed right to their church. Some people have, money taken out of their check, mailed to charities. And you'll see all of that on your pay stub. You'll also see on your pay stub your state income tax, how much money you're sending to Jackson. The governor has made it very, very clear that he wants to see the state income tax eliminated. We know what the Democrats do. I mean, let's just be real here. Look at the economy before Joe Biden with President Trump. Of course, we had COVID. We had so many things going on against us at that time, but still gas was a lot lower than what it is today. Inflation was a lot lower than what it is today. And why? It is because of the policy of the Democrat platform. Whenever the Democrats are in charge, they run on their ideas and their ideology that is from their platform. And so they begin to implement those things. And whenever you implement raising taxes, whenever you implement restrictions on oil companies and gas companies and things of that nature, what happens is inflation rises. What happens is your interest rates are going to rise. What happens is, your fuel at the gas pump's going to go up. And then what's going to happen? Your milk is going to increase. All of your money that you're spending on groceries is going to increase. Why? Because they're having to pay more money per gallon at the pump. And so somebody's got to pay for that. That's going to be passed on to the consumer. And so your taxes are increased. I mean, that is passed on to the consumer. And so we're paying more taxes. And inflation is a lot higher. We're paying more for goods than we did under Trump. And the reason is because of the ideology of the Democrat platform. And so what do you think is going to happen if we have a Democrat as a governor here in Mississippi? You're going to have the Democrat ideology pushed here in Mississippi. There's going to be inflation is going to continue to increase. There's going to be no way that we're going to see the state income tax eliminated. There's going to be no way that we're going to see, taxes eliminated. And I love whenever some Democrats want to try to say, well, I'm for getting rid of this tax. Then why are you running as a Democrat? Because that's not in your platform. I'm pro-life. Then why are you running as a Democrat? Because that's not in your platform. If you was truly those things, then you would have left the Democrat Party. There's a lot of Republicans in Mississippi that used to be Democrat, but they are no longer a Democrat. They are now a Republican because the Democrat Party left them and the Democrat Party went extreme. And so they changed their mind on the issue of life. They changed their mind on the issue of taxes. They've changed their mind on the issue of the border and other issues, which I think is a good thing. I would have loved to see Brandon Presley, 20 years ago, come out and have a press conference and say, I'm switching. The Democrat Party has left me, and I am switching over to the Republican Party, or I'm switching to an independent. I can respect that. Now, if he was to try to say, well, I'm pro-life, and I'm pro this, and I'm pro that, well, then if you were 20 years ago, you would have left the Democrat Party. And so don't try to feed us this, that, I'm all of these things that the Republican Party for, and that you Christians are for, and that you conservatives are for. Well, if that was the case, you would have left all of that 20 years ago when a lot of other people in Mississippi were leaving the Democrat Party. And so it gets back to the fourth reason, small government. Now let's talk about Second Amendment rights. Now I know, even Jim Hood, whenever Jim Hood was running here as a Democrat, for governor, he had a commercial where he was walking around with a shotgun and his dog and his orange vest. He's for the Second Amendment. Well, listen, you got to look further than what somebody just says in a cute commercial. They can cut all the cars they want, but if you are truly, for eliminating taxes, and if you are truly for the Second Amendment, and if you are truly, for funding the police, and if you are truly for life, if you're truly for all these things, then why are you running on a platform that just a few years ago they were chanting, let's defund the police? Okay, why are you running on that platform? If you truly are for the Second Amendment, then why are you running with a group of people that want to take our Second Amendment rights away from us, that are trying to eliminate, the guns and things of that nature? Why are you running on that platform? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what commercials people run. I don't care what they say on TV. I could give a rip about all of that. I'm going to look at your platform. I'm going to look at what you're running on. And let me just say this to the Republicans in our state. We need to make sure that we as Republicans, that we adhere to our platform. Our platform. It is there for a reason. It is there to keep us in check, and it is there to keep us in balance. And so whenever I see, someone in Mississippi trying to run as a Democrat saying, I'm for all of these things, listen, when it comes to the governor, no, nope, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it whenever you have a Democrat governor PAC give you $3 million. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it whenever you have Stacey Abrams saying that we're going to flip Mississippi, and she is as radical as they come. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it whenever you have the governor from California who's as radical as they come coming to Mississippi and trying to get support for Brandon Presley. I'm not buying it. I am not buying it, not even a little bit. And whenever you have Joe Biden supporting and Kamala Harris supporting, that is the face of the Democrat Party. Nancy Pelosi, Stacey Abrams, Newsom out in California. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, all of these people. That is the face of the Democrat platform. And do we want that here in Mississippi? So conservatives, ask yourself the question: is that what you want in Mississippi? Is that what you truly want? Do you want the policies of California here in Mississippi? Well, you say, no, I don't want that. Well, then why are you planning to stay home in November? Why are you planning to come out and just write somebody's name in? I understand your frustration. I get just as frustrated as the next person. I can get just as fired up as the next person. And I do get frustrated about certain things and about certain issues. But I'm here to tell you that there is no one that's running on that ticket for governor who aligns more with me than Governor Tate Reeves. Brandon Presley and I don't know if there's any issue that we align on. I don't know. I can't think of anything. He's not going to support Trump. He's not going to be for closing the border. He's not going to be strong on life. He's not going to be strong on the Second Amendment. He's not going to be strong on getting rid of taxes. He's not going to be strong on those areas, but Tate Reeves will be, and he is. He's already proven he is. He's already proven it by pushing for eliminating the state income tax. He's already proven it by supporting Donald Trump. He's already proven it by standing for life of the unborn, by getting a bill passed that got Roe overturned in D.C. At the Supreme Court. I'm going to tell you another reason, Tate Reeves, and you could go back and go on his Facebook page. The governor put out a very strong Facebook post about these vaccines. Very strong post. And I am not anti-vaccination. What I am anti-mandating vaccinations. Listen, I think if you want to get a vaccination, by all means get it. Whatever you want to get, go for it. If you don't want to get the vaccination, I am for that as well. Whatever you want to do in that area, that is your right. That is your choice. That is your constitutional right to put in your body, whatever it is that you want to put in your body. Brandon Presley is not going to ever be pro-freedom in the area of vaccinations. The governor put out another Facebook post not too long ago saying that he would never shut down and never allow anything ever again in Mississippi, to happen as far as shutting down businesses or schools or anything of that nature. He put out a very strong Facebook post about that. Brandon Presley is going to do whatever he's told by Joe Biden, whatever he's told. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to let you know again, I'm supporting the governor and his reelection bid. He has my full support. He has my family full support. There's my dad, my brother Jeremiah, my brother Jonathan, my brother Josh, myself, and we stand with the governor, and we're supporting him 100%. I just wanted to give you just a few reasons today on why I'm making the decision that I'm making. Now, I know that there will be, I'm sure that people will pile on, and I'm sure that, there are some out there that, they would disagree with me about this particular issue, but I'm going to stand here. I'm unwavering. I'm not moving. I'm not moving 1 inch, and there's no way that I'm going to sit back and just let a Democrat come in here and be the next governor of Mississippi. I'm going to stand shoulder to shoulder with Tate Reeves and support him fully, 100%, and do all that we can to get the vote out in November to make sure that we defeat Brandon Presley. Thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. As I said in the beginning, if you haven't already subscribed and to The Guardian, hosted by Dan Carr, if you have not already subscribed, I would encourage you and I would appreciate if you would go ahead and subscribe to our channel today. Thank you, and God bless you, And God bless the great United States of America.